Hello and best wishes to you all. One of the things which helped Black and White stand out compared with the other seasons of the anime were the rivals. It wasn't just Ash who had competition, Iris and Silent each had a rival too. I already did a top 5 about Burgundy, so in this video I thought I would shift the focus to Iris' rival. Today I'm going to be talking about the greatest Dragon Buster in the entire Pokémon anime. Well, actually, she's the only Dragon Buster in the Pokémon anime. Anyway, without further ado, here are my top 4 reasons why Georgia from the Pokémon Black and White series was an underrated rival. Number 4. A good balance. Personally, the characters I tend to enjoy most in Pokémon are those who are well-rounded. Georgia proves to be exactly that in her debut. In the episode Iris and Excadrill against the Dragon Buster, Georgia makes extremely short work of Iris in their first battle against one another, swiftly defeating Axew with her mighty Beartick. This immediately demonstrates that she is no slouch in battle. Yet, in the same episode, we get a good feel for just how ridiculously over-the-top her character can be. In regards to her as a trainer, admittedly, Georgia's win-loss record throughout the series as a whole wasn't great, but still, she proves herself to be a formidable opponent on several occasions. A good example would be during the Battle Club tournament, where she and her Poniard take Ash and his Snivy to the limit, with Ash only just scraping a win from the jaws of defeat. Also, Georgia's performance against a trainer named Gale and her Drudigan during the club explosion proved that she had continued to hone her skills since we last saw her. I'm not saying she was the strongest trainer in the series, but she certainly had a strong team comprised of Beartick, Bisharp and Vanillux by her side, and demonstrated she could be a tough opponent. Helping to make her more well-rounded is the comedic aspect of her character. This was showcased particularly well in later episodes, when she formed an odd sort of friendship with Silent's rival Burgundy, as the two would sit on the sidelines during tournament battles and make snide comments. Equally entertaining was the ongoing gag from the Battle Club tournament arc, where Luke's Zorua continuously took the form of Georgia, much to the latter's annoyance. This resulted in some genuinely fun moments. As much as I like the other two female rival characters from Black and White, Burgundy and Bianca, there is a definite argument to be made that Georgia strikes the best balance when it comes to her character. Number 3. The concept of a Dragon Buster is awesome. Throughout the years, the Pokémon anime has introduced several concepts which were not featured in the games. This is one of those anime-only ideas which I really like. When Georgia debuts in the anime, she introduces herself as a Dragon Buster. We come to learn that a Dragon Buster is someone who trains specifically with the goal of being able to defeat any and all Dragon-type Pokémon in battle. When you consider that at the time, Dragon types were the strongest of all Pokémon with only a couple of weaknesses, this seems like a concept which could easily have existed within the franchise as a whole, not just the anime. Someone who puts together a team designed with the sole purpose of figuratively slaying dragons in order to prove their strength seems like a really cool idea to me. However, as I mentioned in my introduction, Georgia is seemingly the only one of her kind in the Pokémon world. It's honestly a bit of a pity that this concept, along with the rest of her character, wasn't fleshed out more. It would have been nice to see her going up against some more experienced Dragon Masters or trainers. Unfortunately, Georgia's role in the series was kept relatively small, with more focus on her rivalry with Iris than her ambition of being a Dragon Buster. Despite limited screen time, however, she excelled in this role. That brings me nicely on to number 2. Her rivalry with Iris is different from other rivalries in the show. Black and White introduced a total of 7 rival characters. 5 of these were primarily Ash's rivals, those being Trip, Stefan, Virgil, Cameron and Bianca. The other 2 were of course Burgundy and Georgia. All of these characters share a common goal with their respective rival. Well, all except one, that is. Ash's rivals are all trainers aiming to become stronger and acquire 8 gym badges required to compete in the Pokémon League. Yes, they all have distinct personalities and quirks, but they are all aiming for the same thing, winning the Unova League. Meanwhile, Burgundy is determined to prove herself as a top-tier Pokémon connoisseur, which essentially parallels Silent's goal of reaching the rank of S-Class Connoisseur. The rivalry between Iris and Georgia, however, is a different story. It not only sets itself apart from the other rivalries featured in Black and White, but from the majority of rivalries in the anime as a whole. Iris' goal is to become a Dragon Master. This means she wishes to forge deep bonds with and understand the hearts of Dragon-type Pokémon, both wild and tame. Conversely, Georgia's aim is to become the world's greatest Dragon Buster, someone who seeks out and defeats powerful Dragon-type Pokémon using a carefully put-together team. These two objectives are at totally opposite ends of the spectrum, and it is this which helps separate Iris and Georgia's rivalry from the others in the series. In addition, there are certain traits each character displays which further highlights the divide between them. Iris is definitely afraid of Ice-type Pokémon, as Ice types have a rare advantage against Dragon types in battle. Meanwhile, George's English dubbed name is derived from St. George, who according to legend slayed a dragon. Also, whenever her Beartic is released from its Pokeball, it is shown to be down on one knee before rising up. This is similar to an English knight taking a knee as a mark of respect to a king or queen, another possible connection to Old England and the legends about dragon-slaying knights. These are just small details, of course, but it really does show that some thought went into this character. Number 1. She played a key role in strengthening the bonds between Iris and her Pokémon. Let's face it, Georgia wasn't a main character in Black and White. As interesting and entertaining as it would have been to see entire episodes revolving around Georgia and her quest to become a Dragon Buster, her role was that of a supporting character. Essentially, she is there to be Iris' nemesis, who pops up at different points throughout the series, and seeing as how Iris is considered a main character, Georgia is there largely to help with her development. You can trace Iris' key progression in Black and White to her battles against Georgia, specifically as relates to her relationships with her Pokémon. In their first battle, Georgia's Beartic wipes the floor with Iris' Axew. This forces Iris to bring out Excadrill, despite the fact that Excadrill hasn't obeyed her commands in quite some time. Excadrill refuses to battle for Iris, and is ultimately defeated by Beartic. Following this loss, Iris reflects on her fractured relationship with Excadrill, as she realises the mistakes she made in the past, which caused Excadrill to distrust her. After apologising to Excadrill, the two train together before challenging Georgia to a rematch. Though it is an intense bout, Iris emerges victorious. The third and final battle between Iris and Georgia takes place during the Pokémon World Tournament. In the episode Jostling for the Junior Cup, Iris puts her newly caught Dragonite to the test against Georgia and her Beartic. This battle does not play out as Iris predicted at all. Dragonite refuses to obey any of Iris' commands, and instead employs the incredibly reckless strategy of trying to absorb oncoming attacks, rather than dodging them. Despite taking considerable damage and being frozen by Beartic's Ice Beam, Dragonite is able to muster its remaining strength and win with a devastating Thunder Punch. Georgia comments after the battle that she did not lose to the Dragon Master, but rather the Dragon type itself. After the tournament is over, Georgia vows to get stronger, so that the next time they face one another, she can beat Dragonite. Sadly, this ends up being Georgia's final appearance in the anime. To go back to my original point, however, Iris' 3 battles with Georgia all impact on and force her to rethink her relationship with her Pokémon. Although Axew had gotten stronger since they set out on their journey, a crippling defeat against Beartic proved there was still a lot of training ahead. Excadrill's defeat opened Iris' eyes to the fact that it was her fault that Excadrill had stopped trusting her and gave her the added motivation to reconnect with her oldest Pokémon friend. Finally, although she technically beat Georgia, this was purely down to Dragonite's brute strength and resolve rather than any strategy Iris had employed. Iris realises this, however, and understands they need to learn to understand one another and work together if they are going to become a team. I think that given Georgia's role was that of a supporting character, whose job it was to help Iris grow and improve as the series progressed, she did a fantastic job. If there's one thing I wish we could have seen, it would have been Georgia and Beartic returning one final time to have a rematch against Iris and Dragonite. But alas, it wasn't to be. And there you have it. Those are my top 4 reasons why Georgia from the Pokémon Black and White anime series was an underrated rival. If you can think of any I've missed, or you want to share your favourite Georgia moment, please do so in the comments below. Also, let me know which character you'd like me to focus on next. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, consider subscribing for more Black and White content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Best wishes!